welcome to learning how to organize and navigate Google Drive for better efficiency. We're going to jump right in here and do a quick little video just to go over the basics of the Google Suite. So go through this quickly, pause this video when you need to, or skip it entirely if you don't feel like you need to know these first essentials. So to start with, I think a lot of times when we talk about the Google Suite of products, many people are still so hardwired into the Microsoft Office suite. So I wanted to show how those kind of compare, just so that we're all on the same page. So to start with, you need to think about your computer and how you normally will save files straight to the computer, or you might even save them to a thumb drive. So you've got some way that you're storing and or sharing those files, whether you're putting them on a thumb drive and giving them to a colleague, or saving them on your computer and then attaching them in an email or something. So how are you managing your document storage and sharing? And then many of us are typical word processing. We know how to get into Microsoft Word and we're good with that. We've maybe dabbled a little bit with Excel spreadsheets, or maybe you've dabbled with them a lot. And you also have paid attention to PowerPoints and presentations. You've maybe not looked at too many options for graphics. And another new one on the scene might be surveys and data collection. So these are all things that we have available to us through the Google Suite of products. So that looks like Google Drive as your sharing, file sharing and storage option, Google Docs as your word processing, Google Sheets as your Excel spreadsheet, Google Slides as your PowerPoint slide deck presentations, Google Drawings allows you to do some graphics, and then Google Forms is your data collection. So one more time, documents and storing and sharing is your Google Drive. That's where I would really encourage people to operate the most. Go to Google Drive, create files and folders from Google Drive versus going into Google Docs specifically. Stay in Google Drive. That will help you keep your documents nice and organized. And then from there, you can make your Google Docs, your Sheets, your PowerPoint slide presentations, and a few other things. All of these things obviously operate through Google, and because they're all things googly, we should be in Google Chrome. So go ahead and pause the video if you don't already have Google Chrome open. I want you to go ahead and open up that browser. Now, one of the reasons that we say open up Google Chrome versus any of the other browsers, whether it's Firefox or Safari, all things googly really work better in Google Chrome. It's also just as we talk about all of the students 4 through 12 that have Chromebooks, they're accessing the internet. The only way that they function is through Google Chrome. Likewise, the only thing that your students have available to them for word processing is Google Docs. For file sharing and storage is Google Drives, etc. So the more you work in this construct, the better you're going to be able to direct and instruct your students. So it's really important that you start kind of migrating your mind over to, making that shift into working within this frame. Now, all things googly work better in Chrome, so hopefully you're in Chrome. You've got a whole bunch of different options in terms of being able to make Chrome really work for you, and that will be probably in another class. But Chrome really is a superior browser and really works a lot better with these Google Suite of products. Now, the Google Suite of products that I just listed are really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to all of the things that you have available at your fingertips with your Beaverton School District email. Now, along with this basic Office suite, you've got a whole host of other things that we could discuss. So I'm going to dive into them just to kind of open your eyes to other options, but know that today we're really going to be focusing on Google Drive actually, but these are all a part of the Google Suite of products. So to start with, other ways to connect and collaborate with colleagues and students, Google Plus is basically Google's answer to a social networking platform. So it has a lot of the same tools and features that you would see in other places, but it's going to be able to work a little bit more with all of your Google Suite of products, sharing within the Google platform. And it's not necessarily as big as maybe some of the other social networks. So containing yourself within a professional realm or community sphere where you're joining specific educator communities and sharing, different resources through Google Plus is going to actually function a lot better than I think other social platforms. Google Hangouts is just a way for you to communicate. It allows you to do text, voice, and video chats. So, with week 2 and week 4 and early release available, Google Hangouts is going to be really, really helpful to be able to communicate with across the district without actually having to leave your building. So Google Hangouts might be something to really check out as you're sitting with your learning team and thinking, I'd love to work with so-and-so over at this other building, but I want to use my time wisely. Google Hangouts is going to be great for that. Google Keep is basically just a note-taking service. If you are a person like me and you love Post-it notes, this is going to be a great application to start looking at. This was launched a couple of years ago, and it has apps that you can connect to on your phone. It has a whole bunch of different things that you can do. Share those notes. Most of the things in Google are really easy to share with other colleagues, which is one of the reasons that they've kind of taken over the market. Google Keep is exactly the same way. So you can create to-do lists and Post-it notes and share it with colleagues, add pictures to them. There's all sorts of great stuff you can do. Moving on, other extra utilities. Everybody has attached to that a Google Maps account. Google My Maps is pretty amazing because you can create maps in a lot of different ways. I'm going to be doing another session on this later. I think it has great potential in classrooms. So if you go to Google Maps or you go to mymaps.google.com, you can explore a little bit more about what you can do in Google Maps. It's pretty great. YouTube, you obviously know that YouTube is a great resource for video content within the classroom. It's the #1 search engine now. People go to YouTube to learn things before they go anywhere else, if you can believe that or not. Every single student and teacher within the district has a YouTube account attached to your Google sign-on. You can create your own channel, create your own playlists, and subscribe to different channels, and do all sorts of great stuff with YouTube. So don't count YouTube out. I'll probably be doing a session on that as well. Google Photos is attached to your Google Drive. So today we're actually going to be talking a little bit about Google Photos. You have unlimited storage capabilities in Google Drive as well as in Google Photos. So I would say if you've got any photos of your classroom, any of the posters on your walls or student activities or projects that they're working on, dump those into Google Photo, get them off your phone, and you have unlimited storage anyways, so you might as well put them in a place where you can actually organize them and access them. Google Translate, it's a great way to get started before you go to the Multilingual Center, and it's getting better and better every year. Google Chrome Web Store is a way for you to add to your Chrome browser experience. There's all sorts of apps and extensions that you can add to make your life more efficient and easy. I'll be doing a session on that as well. There's some things I could not live without within my Chrome browser, so this is definitely something to check out if you haven't already. In terms of internet search, you definitely can still go to google.com, but Google has an Omnibar, which I'll talk about later. You can do all of your Google search right within the Omnibar. You don't actually have to go to google.com anymore. Google Scholar, if you haven't heard of this before, it's just a simple way to broadly search scholarly articles and journals. Just from one place, search across many disciplines by keywords, article types. You can look at book abstracts. If there's PDFs that you actually have available to you to download without purchase, you can grab those. So Google Scholar is a completely different search engine provided by Google. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. Okay, and then last couple here. Everybody has access to create Google Sites. It is not unlimited like I thought, actually. So I think you have, I forget the exact number, but I think you have anywhere from like 8 to 10 Google Sites that you can potentially make on your own. And Google Sites just launched their new and improved version, which means it's got some drag and drop features. It's a lot easier to work with and to make a really classy, nice looking site. So if you've thrown Google Sites out before because you didn't like the way that it worked, I would take another look at it because it really is a lot easier to work with. Blogger is a way to just quickly start a blog, a reflection blog. It's a great way to start talking with or having communication with other teachers. Students do not have access to Blogger currently. They might at the secondary level, but I know at the elementary level they currently do not. So that is something to take a look at if you're interested in setting these up for student access. And then finally, Google Classroom, it's a blended learning platform developed by Google. It's a way for teachers to be able to quickly and easily share documents to each other without having to type out crazy long emails. It is not a full learning management system like Canvas. I know at this point in time, we're really pushing For K through 3, the option to take a look at Seesaw, and then 3 through 12 to take a look at Canvas. I know quite a few people out there are using Google Classroom. We're not saying we're not going to support it. We're not denying your access to it, but we really would like for you to take a look at one of those two options, Seesaw or Canvas, as a way to really dive deeper into a digital classroom environment. Google Classroom is a great way to get your feet wet, but it ultimately is going to plateau for you and not be able to do some of the things that you want it to do. Okay, so if I hadn't said this already, the Google suite of products that is the word processing, the spreadsheets, the slideshows, that's just the tip of the iceberg. As you can see here, there's a lot of things that you have access to that you maybe haven't dived into before. And that's totally okay, but it is something to keep in mind that you do have a whole host of options ready to go with your single sign-on through Google. Again, all of these things are running through Google Chrome, and we will actually, today, like I said before, we're going to focus just on Google Drive, but coming up, I do have more courses like this that are going to be available individually on docs, sheets, slides, forms, etc. I don't think I have one on Google Drawing quite yet, but I definitely can put that together if that's something you're interested in. Today, we're just going to dive literally a lot deeper into Google Drive so that you feel more comfortable with creating folders, uploading documents, and really getting a handle on your Google Drive so it's not this kind of out of control, unorganized mess that you don't know how to work in. Ultimately, I think that's going to make your lives a lot easier. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's jump in. So you've got your browser open, and there's a couple of ways to get to Google Drive. The first one is that Omnibox that I talked about before. If you type drive.google.com into the URL space where your web address usually are, that's the Omnibox. Now, again, Google calls it the Omnibox because it does all of the things. You can tell it to do math problems. You can tell it to define words. And in this case, you can tell it to go straight to your Google Drive. As long as you're signed in, it will go straight to Drive for you if you type drive.google.com. Now, another option is to click on your Beaverton staff bookmarks. Once you click there, you're going to go to the center where it's a big G for Google Drive, and click on that, and that will get you there as well. There's a couple of other ways, but that's where we're going to stop for today. Click the next button to get you going, and we'll just keep plugging along.